Jimmy Smith, Brandon Carr, Weddle, anybody in the D lineman, who's leaving, who are we keeping, are we drafting? Anybody in free agency that is boosting this defense, up. I'm having this conversation with Coach Evans coming right out. Okay, guys, so like I said, this is part 2 of the series. We're going through the whole roster with Coach Ivan Evans. You can follow him on Twitter. You can get subscribed to his channel. He's doing great videos on the rosters, but at the end, he's gonna give you all the details on that. Also, if you haven't seen the first part, there's a video coming right here on the top. Go check it out. We went through the whole offense, each position. We break it down, both of our opinions, who should stay, who should go, if there was anybody in free agency, if there was anybody in the draft. We didn't go by pick specific, but if it was a position that we had to address in the draft. So anyway, without just lagging this, let's just start it. So like I said, we're gonna go through the whole roster. So
Right.
Coach, are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Let's do it. So like I said, with the coach, we're gonna start with D tackle, and I'm going,
Okay.
guys, with what the Ravens have and their depth chart and their online. So we had Chris Wormley.
hmm
Wormley, he's not bad. I like that he's tall, right? So him and Urban is usually who splits there in DT or
Right.
DN. It's usually DN. So usually the starting lineup is Pierce notes tackle, Williams and DT, and Urban slash Wormley on the end. So
Right.
talking about Urban or Wormley, Urban is a free agent.
hmm
I was checking online, and it's a 3-4 defense. They have Urban as the highest defensive end out there. What
Wow.
does that tell you? That tells you somebody's paying the bad boy.
It tells you that the market is not very high. That most
Exactly.
DNs are probably locked up for their respective teams, and that and I like Herbert. This is not a shot. It's not a shot, but he's not a star, and most of the time you expect to have stars in free agency, and so that tells you that most of those guys have already been locked up. Most of the good guys, the cream of the crop guys, are locked up with their prospective teams.
Yeah, so there's more like 4-3 defensive DNs that are really good. But those usually for the Ravens are more projected as an outside linebacker, more than the interior DN. But for me, Urban, that I think somebody's gonna, especially he's the highest rated 3-4 DN. Somebody's gonna pay him a lot of money. He's up and down. He's not very consistent. He's injury prone. Although this year he was fairly healthy, he's up and down. I feel like Wormley is a copy of Urban. Just Urban has
Right.
more years and more experience.
hmm
Wormley's not great. I feel like we're gonna draft for sure at the end, but
hmm
really, which is not here, or I didn't see him in the depth chart probably because he's injured. This is next year, and he is coming into his last year of the deal. Henry's spot. Henry needs to
mm
come, be healthy, and ball. If
Willie
Henry,
Henry.
yes, Willie Henry, if
hmm
he shows flashes, if he can be dominant, him, Pierce, and Williams, ooh, that 3-4 is looking
Yeah, that,
good.
that would be nasty. A lot of times, if when you guys get a chance, if you go back and look at some of the tapes I have, we don't have all three of those guys in at the same time. We have two of them. We either have Pierce and Urban, or Williams and Wormley, and then we have all those other linebackers. So that kept them fresh, and they was able to be dominant when they got in because they didn't play a lot of snaps.
I agree, and that's important to also having the second guy. So if Henry's balling, that means Wormley's your second guy. So he's
hmm
great as a rotation, right?
Right.
But when you need that stop, third and long, and you want to just clog that middle, you can put those three guys there. It's gonna
hmm
be hard for O line to hold. So like I said, Urban, I'm not expecting him to be back. Wormley, yes, he's still on his third year. He's
hmm
for me a copy of Urban. Decent, not great. He needs to keep working, especially those hands up. As tall
Right.
as they are, I would like to see more batted passes from them.
hmm Definitely with pass rushing, if they can't get there, get those hands up. And with guys like Brady, that's gonna get the ball out. That's
Yeah,
probably your best opportunity because Brady's not
I
gonna let
agree.
you sack him too much.
Yeah, and Big Ben does the same thing. He just gets it out fairly quick on those bubble screens.
hmm
So Patrick Ricard and Zyler. So both guys on the rookie deal, both guys being cheap. Seiler was
Mm-hmm.
a seventh round pick last year. He was basically stashed, right?
Mm-hmm.
He barely saw the field. What do I expect? Well, I expect him progression. We do this every year. We get one or two D tackles or D ends. We stash them. Usually we put them on IR or like Henry. Willie, his first year didn't play basically at all.
Right.
So I'm expecting him to have a jump. He flashed in the preseason, so have a jump, and be more on that second rotation, guys. What do you think?
I think that's definitely should be the plan for him because we're probably going to lose Urban, and we just need the guy to slide right on in and fill in that rotation. There's no need of necessarily, if we get a chance to get a good rookie, so be it, put him in there, but get another guy that you can grow with and develop. And when another one of those guys get those big contracts and we decide to leave, we just slide right in and don't miss a beat. That's how you have a program and not just
Exactly.
a team full of people. That's how you build your program. If that was Ozzy's plan from all along, I hope DaCosta follows that and continues to grow the program and not just try to build a team for the day.
No, and we have been great developing D tackles and D ends,
Hmm.
right? Our D lineman is basically built in house, so
Right.
hopefully we can keep it like that. And Patrick Kokar, he's like a two-way, right? He was the fullback, he
Hmm.
was the D tackle, but he did really
Right.
fall to a doghouse, right, late in the year. He wasn't
Right.
starting, which, if you go to the first video, I am a big proponent of signing Max Williams and making him our tight end slash fullback, right?
Hmm.
So Patrick Ricard, I think he stays because he's so cheap and he's
Hmm.
versatile. What do you think about
Right.
Ricard?
I think Ricard won't be playing any fullback this year because our tight ends have did a good job, like you mentioned a second ago. So he needs to pretty much concentrate on that position. If he can progress, he probably will stay because he's cheap. But if not, I'm sure there'll be guys that are fighting for that spot on the roster next year.
Oh, definitely he's a bubble guy. No
Hmm.
question, he's a bubble guy. And then going to our two big boys, Brandon Williams and Michael Pierce. So
Love him.
Pierce is a restricted free agent. I'm thinking we're probably gonna tag him with a second round pick. That's what I'm assuming. Maybe a first. But Pierce is a beast. He
You're right.
is spectacular, and they complement each other so good. Pierce and Williams. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say both of those guys. They don't have a lot of numbers, but they eat up blockers and allow our linebackers to run free. If it wasn't for those two guys, we wouldn't be as high on C.J. Mosley like we are. All those guys do, they do the same thing Goose used to do for Ray Lewis. Eat up blockers and allow Ray Lewis to run around and make tackles and make plays. And those guys, like I said, they don't have a lot of stats, but if you watch them play the game, they cause major havoc and allow Mosley to run free and fill gaps and things like that. And not just Mosley, other linebackers also.
I agree. If you remember a story that Ray Lewis told when Nada was gonna be drafted, he told Ossie, "I need that guy because that
Hmm.
guy's gonna eat two blockers." Our boys, they don't give a lot of, people diss Brandon Williams a lot. Brandon hustles every play. It's just, guys, when you have two people blocking you, it's
Right.
hard. It's
It wears
hard.
you down.
Exactly, which it goes back, and we'll talk about a little bit later. My disappointment with the outside linebackers, because usually Pierce is double or Brandon is double.
Hmm.
Our outside linebackers need to win more position, but those two, they're in. They're gonna be here next year. People talk about Brandon Williams as being a cap casualty. I just want to bring the number. Brandon Williams is gonna be a 14.17 million against the cap, so that's huge. For D tackle,
Right.
I get it, it's huge. If you cut him, you're actually gonna spend more money, almost 600,000 more on the cap. He is now
You might as
leaving.
well stay there.
Yeah, he's now leaving. He's gonna stay. Next year might be a different story. This year, both Pierce and him are coming. So,
Mm.
recapping, our interior D lineman, I feel like it's pretty solid. Like I
Right.
said, every year we 6 or 7 round we bring a guy, and
Hmm.
I'm expecting the same thing. Other than that, I think our interior D lineman is solid. So
Yeah. And Pierce is a restricted free agent, correct?
he's a restricted. So how restricted? If for those of you who don't know how the restricted free agency goes, is you tagging on the round that you got drafted, but he was undrafted. So if you tag in undrafted, basically anybody can sign him. You
Hmm.
can tag him as a first or second round, and depending where you slot him, it will be more money. I think a first round probably is close to 4 mil, second
Hmm.
round probably close to 3. Either way,
Yeah,
4 or 3, that is cheap for the production that this boy brings.
yeah, because he only looking at it now, he only made a little over $500,000 this year.
Yeah, he's been cheap. So next year,
Right.
and he's well deserved it. He's gonna get in the millions, which, and like I said,
Mm-hmm.
he's gonna be back. So
Right.
we're gonna talk now about the rushers. So
Okay.
this is very interesting. So we have Suggs, who is a free agent.
Mm-hmm.
My feelings on Suggs is, as a leadership, I would like to see him back. I would like to see him back as a 1 year deal and tell Suggs, we love you here. This is basically your goodbye tour.
Right.
Want to bring you a 1 year deal. You're gonna be rotational guy like you were this year, because he's not every down guy,
Right.
and you're gonna be, $4 or $5 million salary. What is your take on him?
Well, right now he's at the a little over 5 million. So I'm thinking four max.
Yeah, yeah, and I
No,
agree.
no, don't, you know, I don't want to be. I don't think they should be disrespectful to him for everything that he's, done for Baltimore. But four max, and I would hopefully he would stay because I love Suggs and what he brings to the team. But for the production and the amount of plays he played this year, I don't. I don't want to break the bank on him when we can have guys that's going to be there for us longer than this 1 year.
I agree. 4 for me is a perfect salary for him. So Z is his free agent.
Mm-hmm.
The problem that I have with Z is, although there's a couple outside linebackers out there in free agency, if he's in the right price, I would love to see him back. He reminds me,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been saying this throughout the whole year, he reminds me of Perel McPhee a
Right.
lot. He progressed like Perel, like every year you can see a little bit of jump, a little bit of jump,
Mm-hmm.
and he can be one of those guys that leaves Baltimore and you never hear about him, like
Right.
Perel. Perel had some good stats in Chicago, especially
I
the
think he
first
may have
year.
one year
Yeah,
away
especially the
from
first
Baltimore when he
year,
balled out.
and
Yeah.
then disappeared. So I think
I think
Z is
Z fits our system.
exactly, and I would say Z is good in a rotational purposes as well. He's not your every down outside linebacker, but he's probably gonna get paid like a every down outside linebacker. And if
You
that's
have
the
to admit against the pass rush, he's
Mhm.
pretty darn good.
Oh,
Now
he's
now
great.
run blocking. I mean not run blocking, run defending. He
Yeah.
may be average to below average, but when it's a pass down, he can get after that QB.
No, I
He can
agree.
do that.
Again, this is no diss to Z. I just think he's a perfect rotation guy, and in Baltimore he fits great on a on a good price, like I don't know, probably like 6 or 7, average outside linebacker price. You bring him because he's a good guy, good character guy. He
Mhm.
hustles, he plays hard, and that's what you want. To be
Yep.
honest, our defense is balling, right? Was balling, so you want to keep.
Yep.
But this is one of our deficiencies. Our
But if,
rushing.
if if we don't keep Smith, we have to keep Suggs so he can mentor Tim Williams.
I agree, and that's the next guy that I'm gonna go to, Tim
Mhm.
Williams. So Tim Williams almost fell again to like a doghouse because he got injured, and then I
Mhm.
think in the last 5 games he was a healthy scratch, and I was surprised
Mhm.
because in the beginning, let's call the first quarter of the year, he was balling. He actually was there hustling, and he is like Coach was saying, he's that type of guy that he's definitely see ball get ball. On the
Mhm.
rushing attack, he's okay, but although he actually made some good plays when he was there, but he's definitely shines when he's a pass rusher.
Right.
He just needs development. He does need development. I just wonder why he got into the doghouse at the end of the year. So, what's your take on Williams?
Again, a developmental guy that needs that guidance, needs to put in that work, and he needs to make a jump this offseason. If not, he could be in that same boat with Ricard that is not on the team next year because he has the opportunity. He's been there a couple years, and he needs to be a player this year, or he needs to get going.
I agree. And it's funny. Let me just do a parenthesis here. 3-4.
Hmm.
They're saying so. Suggs and Z are up there as one of really good 3-4 guys. There's other older guys that I would not like to see here, like Clay Matthews.
Mm,
If you're gonna
no,
bring Clay, you keep Suggs. There,
right.
I don't even know what
Who else is on that list? Who's like the top five guys on that list?
Shaquille Barrett. So I like him. I think he's decent. He's not great, but he's decent.
Mm.
Clowney.
Ooh.
The problem that I have with Clowney, and as we keep talking about the outside rushers, is He gets injured too much, and he's gonna command a good penny. I felt like Clowney underperformed. When you have J.J. Watt on the other side, you
Hmm.
should be balling. If you're that guy, you should be balling more.
He should.
So
He should. Now they the year Watt got hurt for some strange reason, he balled. But
I
now with both
agree.
of them healthy for this year, neither one of them had that great year like I thought they would have with both of them finally being healthy.
I agree
But
with what you're
I
saying.
digress.
Watt had a better year than Clowney. The Watt's a beast. We know Watt's a beast. I
Hmm.
don't know. I feel like Clowney's gonna be too expensive for what it is. And D4's another guy that I have here as one of the top. He did cost the KC the game with that offside. Just throw it out there.
Yeah.
If he would have been outside, would have been a pick. Game over. We don't have to see Brady anymore.
Right.
And Brady was. This is just a asterisk here. Brady was a bum in that game. At that point, if that interception would have cost or stand one touchdown, three picks, that's horrible. But anyway,
Oh, that sucks.
yeah, they move forward. So congrats to the Patriots. I'm a little bitter, but whatever.
I, I'm
Okay.
not congratulating them.
So let's talk about the other boy, Judon. Judon's going to his
Judon.
final year of
Hmm.
his contract. He's going to his
Hmm.
fourth year. Problem that I have with Judon, I love the guy. And
Hmm.
I love how he plays, but he disappears in games. For
He
some
does,
reason, he
but
just where's Judon? Is he in the field? Oh, he is. Look, he's there. What the hell he doing? And then his stupid penalties is even worse.
mhm.
He's good for a couple stupid penalties every other game. So what's your take on Judon?
My take on Matt Judon is he's going to be playing for money this year. So
That's
we will get the max out of Judon. So I think we'll get a different guy. We may still get a couple of those retarded, crazy, bad penalties, but for what he's going to give us because he's trying to get that money, he's going to be a big help. He's going to be probably I would say he's probably going to be our best edge guy, our best pass rusher this year.
he
If he
should.
did he lead the team in sacks this year? If he
I
if
don't
he
think
didn't, he
so.
was close.
Yeah, I think
If he
he was
didn't, he was
top.
close.
I think Z ended up with like a sack more
But
than him.
right, I love Judon. I love his energy when he's focused. He just needs to stay focused more. Just keep his mind on the game and play the game because when he's out there, he looks like he's having a great time. And that's
I
that's the
agree.
key. You're out there, he's having fun playing football, playing it fast, flying around. Playing ball the way it should be played. He's a joy to watch when he's focused. He reminds me of a younger Suggs.
I agree. I love Judon, and after the rookie year, I'm like, dude, we found this guy in the fifth round. This guy is awesome. But in the last year, anyway, I'm expecting him to at least hit 10 sacks this year. Like you said, his
Right.
contract year, he's gonna be looking to be the top dog in the outside linebacker space. And then
Yes.
we go to our last guy, Tyus Bowser. Tyus Bowser,
Hmm.
for me, and I'm just talking for me, has been a disappointment. When we
Yeah.
were drafting and we got Tyus, I was like, dude, this guy's athletic. If he can rush the passer, he's not gonna be a liability in coverage. This
Hmm.
dude looks good, and then he flashes, right? Which is the worst when they flash. Like Correa really didn't flash much unless it was in the preseason. Tyus
Right.
actually flashes on a regular season game,
Hmm.
but as a second round pick in your second year, I need a little bit more than flashes and be like the last guy in the rotation.
Right. At
I
this
need him.
point in his career, he should be in the rotation. You're right, especially with being a second round pick. So he's another one of those guys that he has to, some kind of way make a jump in his game to get in the rotation. Because because with him coming up, we can't spend money on a guy that's not producing. That money
Agree.
can go, and I think we're gonna spend money on the defense side of the ball before offense. But we
Agree.
don't want to spend money on guys that going to end up being dead weight and not necessarily performing on the field. We need guys that's gonna progress and try to follow Suggs' lead because if we get him back, this is definitely probably gonna be his last year, and he could teach those
Oh, for
guys a
sure.
lot. And I'm sure he's teaching them a lot because they play similar to him, when they're all on the field.
So I agree with what the coach was saying. So, but to review this position again, it's problematic because Suggs, obviously rotational guy. Judon is our best guy, and I'm expecting a big year next year.
Hmm.
But after them, if you don't bring Z, it's a
Right.
big drop. And we
Right.
look, our secondary is spectacular. That's why
Mm-hmm.
the quarterbacks weren't throwing fast against us because our secondary was holding,
Mm-hmm.
not holding like holding their coverage.
Defending, yeah.
Yes.
Keeping
So,
coverage, yeah.
so that means, and to be honest, because people gave a lot of flag as, oh, we didn't have a lot of turnovers, and this is why I thought Wink played more press. He knew
Mm-hmm.
our rushers weren't getting there, so if you're gonna play zone, if your rushers don't
Russia's got to
get
get there.
there, you're just gonna get picked apart.
Look at what happened to Kansas City playing zone.
Exactly, exactly, and that's why Baltimore, our corners can play bump coverage. We can
Mm-hmm.
play man coverage, and since our rushers then don't get there, we have to play man coverage because if not, we're just gonna get
Yep.
picked apart.
Yep. I
So
agree. Let
here,
me let me ask you a question.
go ahead.
If we don't re-sign Z, what do you think they should do going forward?
So I was gonna say, so a guy that I would love, and he's gonna be very expensive to bring if the Dallas Cowboys don't bring him, is Lawrence.
Wow. But I
So
think Lawrence is expensive.
he's
Lawrence had
gonna
a
be
great year.
expensive. He's
Had a
gonna be
great year.
expensive. He's 2 big years, two
Yeah,
back
yeah,
to back
yeah.
big years.
Right.
So we have, let me just, and the guys, this is over the cap. What they have projected as, we have, where's this damn cap? Oh, 28 mil.
Mm-hmm.
After the tax and all that, let's say we're probably in the 22s. This is before cutting Flacco. So
Mm-hmm.
22, and if we're gonna cut slash trade Flacco, that's 10 and a half. So we're
Mm-hmm.
32 and a half. I say big free agency move is bringing a guy like Lawrence. Clowney could be a guy, sure. I think if you're gonna bring Clowney, I'll prefer to bring Z. To be honest, I think
Right.
Z is
I
as good
agree.
as Clowney. That's just my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Probably younger too.
Clowney's actually a little bit younger than Z, believe it or not.
Z's how old is he? I'll tell you in
Ah,
a second. Let's
okay.
keep going. I'll tell you in a second.
So Lawrence will be my top dog
He's
to bring.
26.
Z, yeah, and Clowney is.
No, I don't know how old Clowney is. I
Oh,
just
okay.
know. I'm sure Clowney is that age or older because I remember that Michigan hit being a
Yeah,
good 5 or 6
that's
years ago.
well. He's definitely 5 years, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
he's going to his fifth year out of the rookie deal. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, independently, let's say that they're probably the same age.
Right.
Regardless, Z is gonna be cheaper, and I think he's as good as Clowney. That's again might be a hot take for all of y'all. It's just Clowney has a lot of hype. He has a lot of
Yeah.
name. I'm not saying he's a bum.
Right.
I'm not saying he's a bum. I'm not saying he's a there is a bum either. I just think they're probably the same player, and Z is cheaper.
Yeah, I think
Um,
Z is ascending, and Clowney may be close to a peak, close to a peak maybe.
I think he
But I
already
think
is.
Z still has a lot of good ball and to play,
Plus, you
and
know
he's
who you
not getting
have.
injured. Right.
Plus, you know who you have, right? So I'll bring Z before Clowney.
Hmm.
But if you can get Lawrence, dude, if you can get
Yeah.
Lawrence, that is a legit pass rusher. That's where I will spend the money.
Yeah.
Other than
Lawrence
that,
is
D4's are pretty good, and he's 28.
mhm.
Another guy that we can bring. Damn, there was another guy. Oh, Shaquille Barrett, he's decent. He's no better than Z, in my opinion. So you can.
If we're gonna splash, I'm with you. Splash with Lawrence. Splash with
I think
a younger guy.
I think that's your guy. I think like if you want to make a splash in free agency this year, he is the guy that you go after. He's
Hmm.
the best out there. A guy that I forgot to mention is Fowler as a DN. That's another guy that I will.
For the
Oh
Rams.
no, not Fowler Jr. The guy that plays for the Patriots. He's the only good rusher that they have. Now the
Oh yeah,
question
yeah, yeah.
is if are the Patriots letting him go? I don't know. I think they need them. Need him
Hmm.
a lot. So, but like I said, Lawrence, guys, if they're gonna make a splash or if they're gonna invest, I think you keep boasting this defense. That will help Lamar. Definitely, that
Right.
will help Lamar. So, any guys that you would like to see as an outside linebacker or rush?
We kind of covered the guys, that I would like to see, and I definitely didn't know. Lawrence was a guy that was a free agent this year, and if, like I said, we spend money, I would like to spend it on that type of guy, if not that guy. But otherwise, just bring back the guys we have and continue to build the defense.
So the thing with Lawrence, guys, Lawrence was tagged last year, and that's expensive for outside rusher. If you tag him again, it's gonna be even more expensive. They're
Right.
trying to work a deal with Zeke. They're trying to work a deal with Dak.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, Amari Cooper is gonna get paid for not this year, next year. So a lot of money Dallas needs to put in there.
Right.
I think they probably think of all those four. Lawrence is the most expendable guy, and hey, he will look good in the purple and black.
Definitely.
So
Definitely.
let's keep going here,
Okay.
because now we're gonna go to the middle linebackers, and this
All
is a
right.
big conversation, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
people online have a lot of questions about CJ.
All right.
CJ can cover. That's all I hear every Sunday. CJ can cover. CJ can cover. He's a bum. You need to let him go. This is the thing that I keep saying to all those people that say CJ can cover. Tell me what other middle linebacker can cover better than CJ Mosley.
It's a good
The
question.
middle linebackers are not usually good cover players. That's not their
Mm-hmm.
thing. But you know what CJ excels? If you put him in zone defense, he will find that ball.
Yep.
He will
And he'll
find that
tackle.
ball. And he tackles well. When you say CJ, this is your zone, he has actually ball hawking abilities.
Mm-hmm.
It's just when you see him covering a tight end or
He
a
can.
running back, well, he struggles. But
He
again,
struggles. He does.
tell me, Kikui's not that great. He's probably a little bit better than CJ.
Mm-hmm.
Wagner from Seattle, he's not that great. Middle linebackers are not great in coverage. But I don't
Right.
know what is the idea that people have. He's not a corner. He's not a corner. So I think CJ is a must-have in this defense.
Mm-hmm.
I think he should be the Mike guy again. I
Right.
think that hurt Weddle being the Mike guy because he had to play close to the line a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but give me your take on CJ.
I'm gonna give you a little story to kind of put CJ in context. Um, Back when the league was transitioning to the pass happy league it was, and we still had Ray, and Ray was this bulked up guy.
Mm-hmm.
Ray was getting beat on coverage a lot,
Oh
so
yeah.
he took an off season and thinned up and got better at coverage. Which is so when he got better as a cover guy, he lost some of his tackling game thing, but he still was that guy in heart. So but CJ and shout out to DC too because he changed the way he was calling plays the second half of the season. It didn't put CJ in a lot of coverage situations.
I
You
agree.
had Peanut out there covering people, and you had the other
Young.
young Kenny Young out there covering guys, and you just let CJ just kind of hang around the line and go from there. But so shout out to him for changing that mindset and not dropping that guy in coverage and not making him cover those guys because obviously he wasn't the greatest at it. But he's a run stopper. He's a leader and a run stopper and an excellent tackler. And again, you put him in zone coverage, he's going to cover the guy once they're in his zone. And definitely if they throw it to whoever, back, tight end, or whoever, they're going down because he don't miss very many tackles.
I
So, but
agree.
I think, long story short, we should pay him. I don't think we should break the bank. But his 2.1 he made this year probably should go to maybe 6, 7, 8, maybe somewhere up in there.
Ooh. I think he's actually gonna get paid around 10, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm wishing 6, 7, and 8 so we can pay
Yeah.
other guys too. But I know for us to sign him, it's gonna cost us, and that may be our splash guy right there.
Yeah, so he's
Keep
gonna
it.
be between 10 and 11,
Mm-hmm.
and that's gonna eat some of the cap. He basically, if you think about CJ, he's gonna be the wash between Flacco and him. So Flacco, you're gonna get a 10.5 mils cap savings, and that's what
Mm-hmm.
CJ's gonna get. Just
Okay.
just put that in your mind for all you guys. Again, CJ is great tackler, great leader. He really doesn't get hurt much. He was a great mic guy when he called the plays.
Right.
He puts the guys in good positions. He plays really good in zone, which is usually why you see him having a couple picks throughout the year.
Mm-hmm.
Good hands for a middle linebacker. Again, he's not a corner, so don't
Right.
expect him to cover as a corner. But if you remember that game against Kansas City,
Mm-hmm.
he was actually out there holding pretty good against Tyreek Hill. I was
Yeah.
actually surprised. I mean, Tyreek Hill oh, shifted in, and that's when CJ slipped a little bit. But as a
And
middle
it was a
linebacker,
great play. It was a great
as a
play.
middle
By
linebacker, I
probably
was
the
like,
fastest dude in the NFL
I
and
agree.
probably the best arm in the NFL right now. Probably.
Yes, I agree. And I was like, that was CJ. That was
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was pissed that they made the play, but I was like, dude, it's a great play. So again, I think we need to bring CJ. I think our middle linebacker position is pretty set because if you think about Peanut, This guy was balling all year. Well, not all year. In the first quarter of the season, he was up and down. That's why Kenny Young slipped in and started playing a little more. And I love Kenny Young. Guy,
Right.
if you go back checking, I do a weekly video. If you check all my videos at the beginning, it's like Kenny Young, Kenny Young, Kenny Young.
Yeah.
But
Kenny Young made a
Peanut,
lot of plays early in the year.
Peanut, then it was almost like Peanut said, "Dude, you're getting too much snaps. Here, hold my beer. I need to play more. Let me search. Let me show
In
you
the
how he
first
plays."
half of the year, it was Kenny.
Yeah,
Second half of the year, Peanut came out of nowhere and was unbelievable.
and it's a perfect three guys rotation, guys. You have
Mhm.
Mosley as your like thumper guy, Mike guy, and then you have Peanut and Kenny just switching up. Especially if they're gonna cover a lot more, you need them to be fresh. So I think that rotation is great. We also have Board. Board's a great special team guy, and having him there just in case somebody gets injured.
Yeah.
I
But
think
even if somebody gets injured, I say we go with Peanut and Kenny.
oh,
Let
no,
those
I
two.
agree. I agree.
Yeah.
I just saying Boris, our fourth middle linebacker, and it's okay because right now having basically a rotation of three guys, mostly it's your every down middle linebacker, and the other two are splitting time. Board is
Yes.
basically our special team guy that if somebody gets injured and you need some couple snaps, that's your guy. If you need long periods of time, they're gonna go sign somebody else because he's not your guy.
Right. I agree with you on.
So middle linebacker, I feel like is a position of strength. Outside linebacker, I feel is a position of weakness. And that third guy could be Henry in the interior of the line. If it
Mhm.
is Henry, that's really good. If not, then we're iffy.
Right.
So now going back to our strengths, we're gonna talk about corners. And this is
hmm
again another really interesting topic and position because the years where everybody wants to cut people between
Right.
safeties and corners. And let me start with this before we start throwing names. Our secondary was spectacular.
Yep.
Our secondary was arguably the best in the whole league. So I'll be careful before starting cutting people. But let's start with Jimmy
hmm
Smith. Jimmy Smith
Okay.
was a punching bag this year, and Jimmy Smith had a very very rough half of the year. He
Right.
had a very rough half of the year, and at the end he had one or two bad games. But overall, he played really well. He didn't play
hmm
excellent. He didn't play Pro Bowler, but very very well. The problem that Jimmy has is his cap number.
hmm
Jimmy's cap number is 15.85, which
Yep.
is atrocious for the play.
I think he's the second highest player on the team, right?
I'm
Behind
sorry.
Joe. I
Yeah,
think
he's the
he's the.
sec. Yep, yep. What coach is completely correct. So what
Mm-hmm.
happens with Jimmy? Well, this is what I'm thinking. Jimmy might be the guy that leaves this year.
Mm-hmm.
He has a 9.5 cap savings. But the problem that I have with people is we're not cutting Jimmy Smith. Jimmy Smith played too well for you to cut him. Jimmy Smith, his salary is 9.5, so his base salary is actually not horrible
Mm-hmm.
for what a corner, top corners, and he is a top corner, guys. He might not be the guy, but if you throw him in the free agency market, he's gonna be a top corner.
Right.
So that being said, Jimmy, I expect him actually to get traded. That's my take. You
Mm-hmm.
trade him for a fourth, fifth round pick. You're gonna get a six something hit. You're gonna get 9.5 savings. That is a lot. Again, for my boy Lawrence. If we bring Lawrence, you need that money.
You're gonna find a way to get Lawrence, huh?
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah. I think we need a guy like him. Um,
Mhm.
you know. But you give me your take on Jimmy.
My take on Jimmy is if he stays, if we keep him, um, depending on what we do with Weddle, I think Jimmy can go play safety and let our starting corners be Carr and Humphreys. And because you still got Tavon sitting there too, but I don't want to jump ahead. But I think as far as Jimmy, if we keep him, move him to safety, and if Weddle doesn't come back, move him to safety and go from there. Now, if Weddle comes back, maybe he gets traded so we can save that money or use that money elsewhere because we have some decent cornerbacks. We have decent cornerbacks, and I think we could lose Jimmy and still be good. I don't want
Yes.
to, but I think that's the homer in me wants him to keep everybody, but I know it's a business and it we can't. But Jimmy is the guy we could lose because he has that big number. We can use that somewhere else.
So let me bring Weddle since you brought him up. So you basically what coach is saying, you either keep Weddle or Jimmy. and whoever you keep, he's your free safety, and the other
Yes.
guy you have to let him go. So Weddle has the same type of deal that Jimmy has, because Weddle has um not as expensive, but still pretty up. 9.25 million against the cap and 7.5 savings. So
Mm.
both of them has big numbers for savings, and this is why people are talking about cutting them. But the problem that I have with you guys, the people are saying cut these guys, is you can't cut everybody. You need to keep people. You can't say like this is my strength. Oh, by the way, let me cut Weddle, let me cut Carr, let me cut Jimmy. We haven't talked about Carr, and you expect
Hmm.
them to play the same way. No, we have good guys behind them, but those guys, you need depth. At worst, you need depth.
Right.
So,
You gotta have. That's why we can play as hard. It's people don't know it's a lot harder to play defense than it is to play offense in the NFL.
especially
That's
for the
why these
Raiders.
offensive teams can go no huddle and tire defenses out because you have to expend way more energy to play defense. Not necessarily in NFL, but on all levels of football. Defense is where you expend your energy trying to stop guys. And so if you don't have depth there, if somebody get hurt, and then you got to put in a not as good guy, that's you got to have depth on defense. So, like you said, I agree with you. You can't cut everybody because you got to have depth.
So if I put it to you, Weddle or Smith, who you keeping, who you trading slash cutting away?
I'm keeping Smith.
And keeping Smith. Okay,
Hmm.
so in my opinion, what I think Smith is a little bit better at this stage than Weddle, but I think they're keeping Weddle. This is why. Smith has in the past couple of years either got injured or has been suspended.
Hmm.
That for Coach Harps is not really good. I think Coach loves Jimmy, but I think he loves Weddle even more. I think they're gonna go to Weddle and say, Weddle, I need you to take a pay cut. His base salary is 6.5, so they
Hmm.
might say like, hey, let's bring you to 4.5 and give you some incentives. They want to see probably Elliott what he can be done, what can he do in the free safety position. He was more of a box safety, but he also had really good hands for the ball. It's like the ball find him when he played in Texas. So,
Everett,
well,
Anthony Everett.
but Everett was more of a corner than a safety,
Hmm. Okay.
right?
He
He
was.
he was an outside corner in Bama. So what I'm thinking is they're gonna keep Weddle, ask him for a pay cut, maybe put incentives so he can make his money back,
Hmm.
and they might tell Jimmy, "Hey, are you willing to take a pay cut and keep him? Maybe restructure the deal to 9.5 is just too much. Maybe to split that a little bit more. Maybe to keep
Right.
both. But if one has to go, I think Jimmy also has trading value. So I
Hmm.
think Jimmy will go. Especially also what you said about putting him in safety. I heard that before, but I haven't seen him as a safety.
Hmm.
So he can be good. He can be not good, right? So we'll
Right.
see. Keeping with that, Carr is the other guy that I hear people like, oh, we need to cut Carr. We need to cut Carr. Well, Carr is also a 7 mil against the cap. So not horrible, but there's a $5 million savings. So again, those are big numbers, but Carr, in my opinion, that's if between Jimmy and Carr, you keep Carr. Jimmy has a better ceiling, but Carr is usually more consistent throughout his
The
play.
thing I love about Carr is, and I heard it on one of our later games in the year, Carr hadn't missed a game in three, four,
Forever.
5 years.
No, no, no. He actually
And
hasn't missed a start since he started. It's a crazy.
exactly. That's what I heard then. So with him playing all those snaps, you know, you need a durable guy. You got, that's the best asset you can have in the NFL to be available.
Yeah, and he's durable. He's a
Hmm.
leader. He plays
Hmm.
well. He gets burned here and there, but Jimmy does the same thing. So
So
again,
who
Carr's
does?
cheaper. I agree. Carr's cheaper. He's still a good mentor for whoever the young guys coming behind him. But Carr's cheaper. He doesn't get suspended for stupid things outside field, and he doesn't get injured. So that's why I think they'll keep Carr over
Hmm.
Jimmy. And again,
Hmm.
I think they might tell Jimmy, "Hey, we can trade you, or you can take a pay cut and come." I think they will want to have them all back, but it's a business. Jimmy's the guy that I see then cutting. The other guys here is Tavon Young. Tavon
Hmm.
Young for me is amazing. He might be
Love Tavon.
yeah behind King, the slot corner from what is Chargers.
Hmm.
Yeah, he might be the second best slot corner. I love his tenacity, his fierce. He does get nicked a lot, which is with a smaller frame. That's what I'm
Hmm.
worried about him. So he
Right.
needs to find ways to stay healthy a little bit more. That it was huge that he wasn't there for the playoff game. I was shocked that he wasn't there. So, give me your take on Tavon.
I love him. I love him. Like you said, he does a good job of defending those smaller, quicker slot type receivers. He does a great job with them. And, everybody gets beat sometime, but more often than not, he's where he needs to be. And the thing I love about him is he will come up and tackle.
Oh,
He doesn't mind come up throwing that frame around. And if I'm not mistaken, he gets in the backfield and has ended up with a couple sacks this year,
you know who
blitzing off that edge.
I agree. You know who he reminds me a lot?
Who was that?
Webby. Webby.
Who?
Webby.
Yes, yes, yes.
He
He does.
reminds me of Webby a lot. When Webby was
Hmm.
young and he was healthy, people remember Webby was a beast. Webby, I
Yep.
love Webby, and he will tackle you. He didn't. He was a smaller frame guy too, and
Hmm.
he didn't care. He will, man. When Tavon says I'm gonna tackle you, he ain't playing. Doesn't matter if it's Gronk coming, he ain't playing. So I love Tavon, and he's cheap, guys. He's in his third year, so he's cheap. Obviously, we're keeping him, and then Maurice Kennedy. Maurice Kennedy is an up and down guy.
Hmm.
He might stay for the numbers. He plays a special team. He's not a problem guy. As the
Hmm.
backup for Young, he's fine. I'm okay with him. I don't know what's your take on Kennedy.
I didn't see enough of candidate to have a great judgment on him. I know he played a little bit, and one of the games he got a ball called on him, but he was still in fairly decent coverage. So he didn't play enough for me to want to pass judgment on him. But I know if we get rid of Jimmy or Brandon or Weddle, he's going to be one of those guys in competition to get in rotation with Everett. And I just with the last guy on the list, Cyrus Jones. Cyrus is our return guy. I don't think I saw Cyrus play any defense other than returning the ball. So Kennedy would have to definitely, if we get rid of one or two of those guys ahead of him, he's going to have to get into that rotation some kind of way, or we're going to have to bring in somebody to take his place.
Yeah, so Kennedy, I agree with you. I think it's pretty much a sure thing, guys. So we're losing either Wetter, Smith, or Carr. One of them is not
Hmm.
gonna be here. I don't want to
Hmm.
lose more than one. Again, I don't want to see more than one go because then it's a big hit on where you're strong. We're not strong on the rushing, but if our secondary can hold, that helps our rushing attack. So
Right.
that being said, Everett, what I saw Everett playing for a rookie, I think he was a fifth round pick. He was
Hmm.
actually really good. Again, he wasn't great, but as a rookie fifth round pick, when he was out there as a smaller guy and the outside,
Hmm.
another guy that will play hard, that he will hit, he will be physical. Everett, I like
But
him
he
a lot.
played in the NFL developmental league called Alabama. So.
Yeah, exactly. But so does Cyrus Jones, and I'm not big on Cyrus. But
Hmm.
Everett, I think he is the guy right now that is slotted to be that third corner for the outside corners.
Hmm.
Tavon Young is the starting slot
Hmm.
corner. And your starting two is going to be Humphreys, which I didn't even mention Humphreys, by the way, but Humphreys is our starting. I mean, there's no question. He's a baller, top
He's our
five
number
corner
one
in the
corner.
league. Yep.
Hmm.
And then number two is going to be, in my opinion, either Carr or Smith.
Hmm.
Everett is behind one of those two guys. He's the
Right.
next guy rotation of those three. The fourth guy is Everett. He did a really good job. I'm only expecting to progress more.
Hmm.
So love it. I
I think
love
we're in
what.
good shape on the back end. I think we're in good
Yes,
shape.
yes. And then Cyrus Jones, just to mention him, I think he didn't play corner with the Patriots and he didn't play corner with us. He's there. He's basically our emergency corner. He's not tall. If he hasn't seen the fields, because probably he's not that good in coverage.
Right. They did a
Hey,
great job of returning kicks for us though.
oh,
But you can find guys to do that. So
I
he
agree.
did a good job of coming in and doing it. Look, mid year maybe,
Yeah, yeah,
and,
mid year.
and doing that. So, but we need guys that can give us dual value.
I agree. So it leads us to the safeties, right? So we
Hmm.
talk about Weddle. Again, I think Weddle he had way more picks the previous year than this year, and I think what happened was him being a Mike guy, being there near the line, wasn't helping him to just go being a backfield and seeing the play develop for him to attack the ball. He was basically the ball's being snapped and he was trying to get back. So again, another reason why we need mostly to be back our Mike guy. But even if Weddle stays, I think Weddle stays as a rotational guy. They need to find another safety, and Weddle can be teaching that safety how to play the game.
Yeah.
Um, Tony, We haven't talked about Tony. What is your take on
Hmm.
Tony? Because I have big takes on Tony.
Tony's a great tackler. He does get beat sometime in coverage, but the energy he brings, the tenacity he brings, I love that. He's a Baltimore Raven. He plays the Raven way. He isn't the greatest strong safety out there. He's more of a at the line type of guy. Um, but for what he brings, I love it. I love it. He's a linebacker playing safety. So we what we give up in coverage, we gain in the box tackling. And some of the plays he made at the line of scrimmage against some of those high flying offenses, that we faced, I love it. He comes up, makes tackles. He's a leader. He's emotional. He does all the things we need.
So
But
he
we
reminds me.
suffer from him in coverage though. He's not a great
Yeah.
cover guy.
No, I agree. And he reminds me of us, and there's no knock on Bernard Pollard. He reminds me of a smarter
Yes.
Bernard Pollard.
Yeah,
Because
that's a great
Pollard,
evaluation.
yeah, because Pollard sometimes bonehead plays. Tony usually doesn't have that. But you know what Tony has better than Pollard? After the pass is being completed, right? After the quarterback throws a pass, he explodes to that receiver. He
Yep.
sometimes gets there. If he's too far, he doesn't. But he doesn't quit to the plate. He explodes there, and if he's gonna, if you're in his path, you're going down. You
Yep.
are going down. So
Yep.
Tony gets a lot of hit. He's a bum. I don't see it. I think he's a great box safety, and if you have a better free safety, you have no problems with Tony Jefferson because he will explode. It's gonna be hard for you to go by him in the open field because he's quick and he will
Hmm.
tackle you hard. On
Yes.
coverage, he's not great, but actually this year I saw him being better in coverage than the year before. The year
Hmm.
before, his first year in Baltimore, he was bad in coverage, and I think it was part of how the defense was playing. I feel like he was
Hmm.
out of position. This
Right.
year, even in man coverage, I saw him playing better than previous years. Yes, he's not the tallest guy, so when a tight end, big boy tight end like Kelsey, they throw it to
Hmm.
Kelsey, the probability of completion is higher, but he would take
But
them down.
not no knock on Jefferson, but you throw the ball to Kelsey and Grunk. That probability of them catching the ball is higher on anybody in the league.
True,
There
you're
there are
right.
no safeties. There are no safeties can match those two guys.
I
You
agree.
just you can hope that it's a bad throw and hope you can stick your hand in there and hope they just can't get to it. But if it's between you and Grunk, 9 times out of 10, Grunk's gonna come down with that ball because he's bigger, stronger than you.
I agree. So people are talking also online about cutting Jefferson. And
Hmm.
dudes, that's not happening in my opinion at least. He is a big cap number because they restructure him, so he's 12.6, which is pretty high. You only save 3 with him. Again, I don't understand why people just want to cut the whole secondary. Our secondary is strong. I see one guy maybe leaving the team.
Hmm.
In theory, if you can bring them all, if it was feasible, you bring them all. Um, the other safeties that I have is Levine. Levine really doesn't play safety. He plays more linebacker than
Hmm.
safety. They bring him in, and he's still on the deal. I think they're keeping Levine because they love Levine. He plays like a Raven. He does everything.
Hmm.
He plays special teams. He plays on defense. He's a hard fought. He fights in every play he plays. So I think they're keeping Levine. What is your take on Levine?
I like Levine too. So he's a kind of like Tony Jefferson. He's not a great cover guy, but put him around the line of scrimmage. Covering backs out the backfield and in zone coverage, he's okay. If we get caught in man and he has like cover guy on like a rail route or something like that, we'll probably get beat. But as far as that, he's not gonna quit on routes. He's gonna play to the whistle. He's gonna give you everything he got. To the end of the play. He may not be as talented as some of the other guys we have, but he's still learning. He's a younger guy, and he gives you exactly what you need as far as effort wise. He's an effort guy, and as long as we got effort guys on the team, you can learn technique, you can get better at your technique, you can learn the scheme better. But he can control his effort, and he gives us a ton of effort.
I think he's perfect. I think he's perfect for this team. I think he's great because he's not only a safety, he does way more to the whole team. Then we have Chuck Clark, and people were high in Chuck Clark because of the game that Jefferson got injured. Chuck Clark came and he played really well. He
Hmm.
played well. I was never sold on Clark, and then when the following game came, he was exposed.
Right.
Um, Chuck Clark is a good rotational guy, guys.
Hmm.
He's just a good rotational guy. He's the guy that you keep while he's in your rookie deal because he can play special teams, and he
Hmm.
can come and defend for a couple snaps. He's
Hmm.
not a starter. At this point, if he was a starter, he would have been a starter. I feel like he's gonna stay in the team because he's solid. But the people that were talking,
Solid's a great word.
yeah, the people that were talking about, oh, he needs to come in and replace Jefferson, stop it. Stop it. If you say that, you're not watching the game, you're not watching film, you're just getting
They're not in the same
emotional.
league.
They're not in the
They're
same
not
league.
even in the same league.
They're not in the same league. You can think about Tony Jefferson is probably like a B plus player.
Mm-hmm.
Chuck Clark is like a C minus guy.
Hmm. Yeah, I
That's
agree with that.
that's the gap. That is the gap. Again, I like Chuck Clark, and he will stay in this because he's versatile. He plays special teams,
Hmm.
and as soon as his rookie deal's over, he will leave. That's
Right.
the type of
Unless
player.
unless he has a great next year.
Unless he progresses more, right? But as of
Hmm.
for now, right, he
Hmm.
still has time to show us more. But so right now, guys, the people that say Chuck Clark needs to start with Jefferson, you stop it. You need to watch the film. Last but not least, Elliott. Elliott was the draft pick last year that nobody saw, right? We didn't see him only in preseason.
Hmm.
I love what I saw in college, and the little that we saw in preseason, I like. This is why I would like to keep Weddle. I think Weddle can be a mentor for Elliott,
Hmm.
and see if we need really to bring, because people are like, oh, we need a rangy safety, and hey, if you can find an Earl Thomas in the first round, I'm not telling you that you don't pick him. I'm just saying I haven't checked the film room for the safeties yet, but I
Uh-huh.
haven't heard the buzz about any safety. There's a lot of talk about the Bama kid, and
Hmm.
there's somebody else. But well, anyway, I
Not
haven't.
much out there
Yeah, I
that
haven't
I've seen.
checked. Exactly. So what I would like for the Ravens to do is keep Weddle and bring him on a rotation basis with Elliott.
Hmm.
Elliott is a big hitter guy, so he might be like Tony and not a free safety. But if
Right.
he is, then we have this discussion next year, maybe to move out away from Jefferson for Elliott. But by the
Hmm.
way, Jefferson is 26, guys. Jefferson is young. So I would like to see if Elliott can be a free safety. And if he can, hey, we have the safety of the future. But that's why I would like for us to keep Weather, because Weather looks like to be a great teacher, great mentor. What is your take, if you have any, on Elliott?
I don't have much on it because I didn't see much of him during the season. But if he's a guy that can get under Weddle's wing and be half the player Weddle was at the same age, that's a plus at any time. Because Weddle was when he was that age, the things he did at what San Diego at the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if he can teach those traits to Elliott, I'd be more than willing to get him in that rotation and definitely get the most out of him before he gets off of that rookie deal and before Weddle gets out of the building.
Yep, I agree. So, guys, this is the whole. We went through the whole defense, and but before we go, I just wanna get a quick take. Special teams. I'm just gonna go very quick because we're keeping Sam. We're keeping obviously Justin Tucker.
Hmm.
Long snapper Cox. Yeah, whatever. He will stay. Chris Moore's not here, so we'll have to find a return guy. But I, we had the guy Grant. I think he should be given another opportunity.
Hmm.
And then Cyrus
Jeremy
Jones,
Grant. Hmm.
yeah, and then Cyrus Jones upon return. And this might be a very unpopular opinion in Baltimore. I don't like Cyrus Jones. He did return. He did return those two touchdowns, but that
Hmm.
was way more to do with blocking. That blocking was perfect. If you go back and check, it was like the Great Wall of China as he was
Hmm.
gliding, blocking, perfect executing block. This is my problem with Cyrus. He doesn't attack the ball. He lets balls bounce too much, and we lose
Hmm.
yards. At this point, he should minimal just catch it.
Let me
Fair
ask you a
catch it.
question then. Would you rather lose yards or the ball?
I would rather lose yards than the ball, but in
So
here,
so long as he don't turn it over, and then
true.
you
He
got to
did.
think about
He
it.
did
Any
it
special
once.
team touchdown you get, any special teams touchdown you get is a bonus because you don't scheme to get special teams touchdowns. You
Oh,
try.
I agree. No, no, no. I agree. And hence, before putting Cyrus Young, put Willie Snead, put somebody that just catches the ball for a catch. Well, like we did with when Webby was here. Webby wasn't running. Webby went, look for the ball, for a catch it, and leave it there. That's what Cyrus doesn't do. People love him because he had two touchdowns back. My problem with him is I think he's afraid of catching the ball.
Hmm.
with anybody remotely close to him.
Now he did drop one, and
He
then
did
that game
in
the
Cleveland.
game that he dropped one, I think he got gunshot.
Yeah,
If I'm not mistaken, that's maybe the game you're speaking of. He dropped that one ball, and then the rest of that game he was kind of gunshot back there returning punts.
I'm
But
speaking about a lot of games. Look at San Diego game. How many
oh,
balls hit and just
mhm,
went 15 yards? That game was all about possession. The
mhm.
punter from San Diego was punting short, and he wasn't attacking the ball. And at the end, the net yardage was great because Cyrus didn't attack the ball.
Yeah,
So
but if he attacks it and does not catch it, then that's a whole nother different situation. So I'd rather him if he can catch it, get it good. If he has any doubt for us catching the ball, let it bounce. As long as we keep it. Now, can we find somebody that can judge the ball better off the foot so they can be in a better position to catch the ball? Yes. But as far as what he did, as far as his thinking that okay, maybe I can't catch this, I'm kind of iffy about it. Okay, let's just keep the ball. Now, that's a smart guy to me because we got a lot of guys out there just going to attack it regardless. Don't care whether it
no, I
hits.
agree.
So I kind of like the mix, the blend that he has of it. But then we could go back and find a younger guy or somebody that can judge the ball better off the foot on punts
Yeah,
because pretty much kick return is almost out of the league, almost.
yeah, I agree. So my point with Cyrus is that I feel like he can definitely find the holes. Obviously, he returned 2 touchdowns, but he is scared because he muffed more than three probably punts in New England. He's probably
Hmm.
very scared to do it in Baltimore, so
Hmm.
he doesn't attack the ball. And when I say attack the ball, guys, I'm not saying to go catch it to run it. I'm literally
Hmm.
just saying attack, find the ball, and fair catch it.
Hmm.
Um. So
So really, you
anyway,
you pretty much saying the same thing. I'm just find it off the foot so you can
yeah,
do that. Yeah, I
yeah.
understand. We're just saying in different ways, but we're saying the same thing. I got you.
Yeah. So I think Cyrus Jones should be competing for a job. That's my point. I think he's not. She shouldn't be a lock. I know he's a fan favorite. He's a Baltimore kid. I think he should be competing for a job because again, he's not bringing anything in the corner position.
Right.
So if you're not gonna, in my opinion, attack the ball, we need to find a different person. So anyway,
Right.
guys, we've been here for 55 minutes. We went through the whole roster, like I said, video of the offensive side. Check it out. The link will be coming up here. But this is the defensive side. We talk a little about the special team. The special team is
Hmm.
solid. But if you want to find the coach, tell him, coach, where they can find you.
On Twitter, you can find me at Coach Evans 9, COACH EVANS, the number 9. And on YouTube, you can find me at my name, Ivan Evans, but you can search the Ravens Roundup in the search box on YouTube, and stuff should come up. You'll see a recap of all the Ravens games this year, and now you'll be starting to see draft videos from me. So far, Sonny, if you can put a box in the corner up there for a link to maybe like my Hollywood Brown film, N'Keal
Yes.
Harry film so far, or Cody Ford film, and I'm working on those daily. AJ Brown will be out soon. That's a guy from Ole Miss that I saw in high school and followed in college. So he'll be the next guy I do. And just make sure you come over, like, comment, subscribe. We're pushing 1,000, so help me get to 1,000. I think I need about 17 more followers to be there.
Guys, 1,000 is a milestone if you're on YouTube. I'm here close to 150, so I'm proud of myself being to 150. But being in 1,000, that's when you can get pennies, right? Before that, nobody getting paid. The coach is near that. You definitely need to check his video. If you don't know much about football, you just love football, check his videos. He does a breakdown of the video. You see all-line breakdown. You see Lamar, if he made the right read or not. If the receiver broke out route. If the receivers did the right decision. You will see this in Coach Evans' channel. Now he's doing the draft. I throw my first mock draft on my webpage, so that's gonna be
Hmm.
in the description below. But the guy that I'm mocking to the Ravens, which is N'Keal Harris, the coach has film on him.
Yep.
Check his film. He will tell you where he's excelling, where he's not. Right?
Right.
Is he a good prospect or not? Check the coach. A great sub on YouTube. Like I said, if you just want to learn, the coach is your guy. Um, Other than that, guys, thanks for joining us. Like I said, like the video, subscribe to the channel, go to the coach video or YouTube channel and subscribe. We'll see you next time, guys.
Appreciate it, Sonny.
So guys, there you have it. We went through all the defensive side. So give me your opinion. Do you like who we thought we were keeping? Do you like who we thought we can bring in free agency? Who are we cutting? Who we're not? Anybody in the draft do you like? If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Follow me at szg Sports. You'll be seeing mock drafts in the near future. My website has mock 10, so you can find that in the description below. You will find the coach's description down in the comment below. And guys, I will see you next time.